Good morning. It's the 21st of January 2026. This is the IEMT Q&A with me, Matt Kendall. Sorry, I'll start that again. I'll get that. Right, I'll start again. Hi, it's the 21st of January 2026. I'm Matt Kendall, and this is the IEMT Q&A. We've got loads of questions to get through today, which I have put into the comments section. If you have any more questions, please do put them in, and I will do my very best to answer them as well. So let's get straight in to the questions that we have. I have a client with self-diagnosed PTSD coming in next week. When working on this, do you actually draw out and show the PTS model while going through with an example story? And is it possible to not work with the model at all? Well, okay. I don't know. I don't know the history of the client. They say they've got PTSD. I don't know what that means because everybody is different. Some people are just upset about things that have happened. Some people are in physical pain. Some people can't leave the house. So PTSD is just a big umbrella kind of catch-all term for generally something bad has happened or this person has done something bad or something, and they're feeling some sort of repercussions or they're feeling sort of negative emotions towards it. So when I use the PTSD model, and this, again, this might not be correct. This is what I have found works for me with my clients. I use the PTSD model when a one-off thing, a one-off situation or incident has fundamentally changed the client and who they are. So that could be a diagnosis, it could be an accident, it could be an attack, it could be an accident or something they've been involved in. It can be something completely random, but generally it's a one-off thing that's changed the person from who they are into who they are now, who they were, sorry, to who they are now. That's what I find works really well. Because basically when we're looking for the linchpin, I won't actually read the full definition out, but basically it's something that the client used to do, but now viewed through the filter of this tragedy or this accident, it's seen as partially causational to the thing and to the way that they are now feeling. So this part of their personality, this trait, this thing which they did, they now see as a negative something which actually caused the problem or partially caused the problem. So if that's suitable for the client that you've got coming in, then yes, the PTSD model would work really well. If not, so when I have somebody who says they have PTSD, if it's from a specific time period, for example, say that they've been in a bad relationship or from family members or childhood, whatever it might be, I say the way that I work, and again, this might not be right, but this is what's worked really well for me. I get them to list their 10 most significant memories around this time period. So the 10 most significant memories around this time period, and I then get them to put them in order of significance, starting from the worst down to the least. I've got a bottle opener there, from a cracker, is there? Then what I do in the session, I do a demo memory, and then I will start to do a few of these significant memories. And when I start to do these significant memories, it really starts to change the structure of the whole thing they have going on. That will then give me an in to different emotions that are now being revealed through this process. And then I'll start to work with the emotions that are being revealed there. And it often is a lot of anger and embarrassment, kind of stuff like that. I'll then do episodic time to bring them into the here and now. And then the session after, I'll obviously look at the identity-based work. So that's how I work with a lot of PTSD kind of stuff. So just to recap, I use the PTSD model if it's generally a one-off incident that's really changed who the person is. If it's not, I will start to look at the most significant memories around that time, work on those, and then start to work with the emotions that are coming out from that. Um, can IEMT be used with a client with FND, Functional Neurological Disorder? I don't know. The question is here is, can you work with clients with FND? So I always say this, always take the label or no, so always have the thing what it is, but take IEMT out of it and replace it with your name. So can Sam Smith work with clients with FND? Do you have the training? Do you have, the actual skills to work with these kind of people? And also, where would you use IEMT and for what purpose? I know very little about FND. I have worked with somebody with FND, but they knew a lot. Well, they were an IEMT practitioner, to be honest, but they knew an awful lot about IEMT and what they wanted to achieve from it, and it was actually very successful. Would I say IEMT is a suitable care or treatment or therapy for people with FND? Well, not as a default, I wouldn't, but that's because I don't know. So again, when somebody says FND, what what do you mean? What do you actually mean by that? Because anything, if somebody's got sort of neurological issues, personally, if you don't have the sufficient training, I would say that's you shouldn't be getting involved with that kind of stuff. If somebody does have the sufficient training, then IEMT is a suite of what, 8 different tools. So the eye movements might not be suitable for them, but some of the other things, the PSACs, the episodic time, those things might be suitable for them. So it's hard to say when it's like a medical kind of diagnosis like that. I don't have that kind of training, so therefore I can't give you that kind of answer. I'm sure other people, other trainers and people like that might be able to give you some better feedback than I can on that. But I can't because it's beyond my pay grade, basically. Can IMT be used to help somebody with intermittent fasting? This is a really interesting question, actually. I'm very interested in intermittent fasting. I do practice it. Not a lot recently, but I do practice it. So again, it depends on what's the client having problems with. You can't use IMT on hunger because hunger's a natural state. But I don't know. Um, How would I use it? Why would somebody come to me with intermittent fasting? I think it would be a lot of identity related issues. If somebody thinks they are obese or overweight or stuff like that, you can definitely do a lot of I've done a lot of identity stuff around that. And what are they doing the intermittent fasting for? What's it they're trying to achieve, or what is it they're actually trying to escape? So I've actually helped a few people with different weight loss sort of things. And what I have found is if you uncover why they are not able to feed themselves and have regular exercise, if you explore that identity work, um, people will start to actually lose weight much more naturally, and hunger will start to go down more naturally. But I wouldn't say at IMT. I suppose you could use it in combination with different things, especially if you're like a personal trainer or something like that. Then absolutely. Um, but I would say you'd have to explore why the client is trying to lose weight, why they haven't lost weight in the past, and the things you can begin to uncover and work with from there. You'll often find a lot of people who overeat and stuff like that are doing it to get an emotional state change in their present day. Because if you think, well, when we're young, we are often rewarded with food for good behavior, for doing things, for doing chores. And we don't have a lot of self kind of control, but these foods are designed to be addictive. It is hard. And children these days, don't really know how to cook very well, or they just think, putting something in the microwave or something's cooking or just getting Uber Eats or delivery, wherever it is. Um, so it's kind of quite tricky in that sense. So again, IMT is an exploration of the problem, of the client's problem or problems. So you can see what's stopping them from doing intermittent fasting. Why are they doing intermittent fasting? What are they trying to move away from? And why can't they, as a person, do this thing so they can explore the identity issues around that? I think that'd be really interesting. What exactly is the aftercare with the IEMT training course? Now, every trainer is different, so I can only tell you about mine. So after you finish the training course, the first thing you get is a recording of the course itself. This will be changing a little bit in the future because I'm going to make a standardized recording of the course, and you'll just have instant access to that rather than your course in itself. So you get that. You get the video links where you can see that online. You'll also get a document package with loads of different documents. Some are legal things from the association. Some are things which I've put together for you, such as flowcharts, sample case studies templates, procedures. There's quite a few documents to work your way through. You then have the WhatsApp group. There's about 150 so people in the WhatsApp group. These are all the people who have been through my training. So you're able to ask questions, celebrate your wins, yeah, and just talk about IEMT. It is an IEMT-based WhatsApp group, and I will sometimes delete questions, especially ones that are just positivity and stuff. It's not the place for that. You would then have the Facebook group, which I do a Facebook Live every Monday and Tuesday. I know it's Wednesday, I've been away. So that happens every week where you can submit your questions in advance and ask them live. You also get email support. And every month there is an IEMT coaching session, which I'm about to set up this month now, actually. It's just been, January is just a bit of a busy month, isn't it? So we will look at doing a coaching session. And this is really a deep dive into different areas of IEMT, and also it has lots of demos and full sessions as well. So you get a lot. You do get a lot of aftercare. This guy said that I want to know what the aftercare is like because I've done other courses, paid a lot, and then the aftercare has been really bad, which I completely hate. Read the reviews. I've got 55-star reviews. Go read them, right? And just look at what people say about the aftercare. Now, the last question, I think I'm going to do this as the subject of this month's coaching. I have an IMT list on the association site and a page on my website. How do I attract more IMT clients? Where where do we start? Where do we? I don't even know where we start on this one. So you've done your course, you've done your NLP, you've done your EFT, you've done your hypnotherapy, whatever course, and then the next day you open up your laptop and you don't have any emails, any inquiries. There isn't a line of people out the door. Ah, you've been lied to. With IEMT, at the moment, there aren't many. There are some, but there aren't many people seeking IEMT. Not in the way that, for example, I'm going to sneeze. No, no. People might directly be seeking hypnotherapy because hypnotherapy is quite an established therapy or treatment, or whatever you want to call it, for like the smoking, fears, phobias, weight loss. And what people usually put is hypnotherapy, stop smoking in Leeds. And that'll bring up the hypnotherapists in that area who do that particular service. Quite a straightforward thing. At the moment, IEMT is relatively unknown by the populace, just by people in general. What you want to think about is what is the client's journey from sat at a computer or on their phone, having an issue, having a problem, to be sitting in front of you. What are the different stages a client goes through to get from being a potential client with a problem to being an actual client? Now, there are many different stages, and there are many different routes to that stage as well. So when I say different routes to that, there are some people who are fast track. So when I say fast track, that means they are typing in IEMT in Leeds, IEMT in London, right? That's a fast track. The client knows what they're looking for. They know they're looking for IEMT. The other stuff might be help with anxiety, help with sleep issues? How do I overcome a fear and phobia? How do I overcome an eating disorder? Right? So they are searching for information. They're asking ChatGPT, which is a more common thing. They're on YouTube looking for videos. They're looking for information. So what you want to do is to bring these clients in and educate them in their problem, and then educate them in the solutions to this problem by drawing them in by the content that you're producing. And then you can produce content in many ways. And again, I'm going to do a whole coaching session on this because I think it's actually very important. You can give talks. You can do webinars. You can go on podcasts. You can release press releases. You can write articles. You can do YouTube videos. You can do Instagram posts. You can do TikToks. I don't do TikToks. They're just a few. You can go to networking events. It depends if you're wanting to work locally or essentially globally, isn't it? I'm running out of time for today because I do need to keep these to under 20 minutes. But the thing is, it's I read this one the other day. The best marketing is consistent marketing. This is consistent marketing for me. Okay, so doing these Q&As brings in clients, both private clients for me and for the IEMT training. Okay, what are you doing that's consistent? How much information are you actually going out and putting out there? I guess it's probably zero. And some people have the shiny object syndrome. They will go after each kind of shiny. At the moment, that's AI, you know? You don't need AI. You need a solid business foundation before. I might do a weekend training over this, you know, about helping people actually get a solid business foundation. I'll do the coaching. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. But you have to have a system. You actually have to have a system that deals with the influx or the inbound inquiries. Because that's when, if you have a system, you can then start to do things like paid advertising. Because if somebody is typing in IEMT in Leeds and you are based in Leeds and you do IEMT, you should be at the very top of the search and of the paid ads as well. And when somebody comes to your website, it should be a specific landing page about you and the services you offer in Leeds, and then there's some form of capture, which then goes into a sequence and then goes to a consultation, which then goes on to sessions. And it's about having these things already put in, and then you can actually go out and make the phone ring, or you can get the emails, or you can get the messages. There's no magic bullet for this. There's, you know, you again, there's too much to sort of go through. I'm going to do this as a coaching session. I've decided I'm going to get that booked in. And I know my diary. I've got a lot of medical things going on at the moment. Well, I haven't. That's the problem. I'm going for appointments. Or I'm trying to go for appointments, but they're not working out. Excuse me. Next IMT training is going to be in February the 21st and 22nd. More details to follow. Guys, that is it for today. I don't think I've got any comments. I need to make this under 20 minutes so I can put it on YouTube. I will see you all soon.